We are deep in the interior now, on the notorious Bella Yella Trail. Here is the legendary West Africa of fiction, the dense, shadowy jungles of Trader Horn, Martin and Osa Johnson, and the Tarzan movies. You can walk for weeks on end without ever leaving the forest. We come across a small mill. Men, women, and children are all employed in the manufacture of cane juice. The sugar cane is first put through a crusher and the juice extracted from it. It will then be distilled to form a highly potent alcoholic drink. The crossing of rivers becomes more primitive. A monkey bridge, once common in Liberia, now seldom seen. These bridges are reputed to be built by the Big Devil, who is supposed to have the power to fly and to spin the bridges, much as a spider spins its web. Consequently, they are built in secret in order to perpetuate the legend. A raft, pulled hand over hand along a jungle vine, takes us across another river. Pygmy hippos are found nowhere else in the world than in Liberia. They never get much bigger than a large dog. Of porters through the bush, Jack makes the mistake of wearing low-cut shoes instead of high boots. A deadly cobra strikes. We have no serum, but according to the porters, the next town is only a few miles down the trail. The porters cut down saplings and construct a litter, tying it together with vines. They say there are medicine men in the next town familiar with snake bites and capable of curing them. Crisis develops. Two poles with a crossed stick block the trail. A sign for travelers, it means keep out. A bush devil is making medicine or magic ahead. The penalty for trespassing can be as drastic as death. Charwelly, the head porter, tells the rest of the carriers to ignore the sign, that this is an exception. Finally, they reluctantly agree to pass the sign and step into forbidden territory. Nearly delirious, when we reach the village, Jack makes out the form of the head porter, asking how he feels. Then, he is dimly aware of a grotesque devil working over him. Jack later told us of the feverish nightmares he experienced before the cure was completed. With Jack well on the way to recovery, Joe and I watch another bush devil dance. We now have a plan. Charwilly told us that the Fa Yuzigi, or Forbidden Mountain, was very close, less than a day's walk, and that the stone people could be seen in a cave in the mountainside. But it is taboo territory, he said, and no outsiders are permitted to go there. However, he felt that we might be able to make the trip if we sneaked out of the village under cover of darkness and returned the next night. Perhaps we will not be missed at all, but if we are, we can say that we had simply been on a hunting trip. Charwilly says that everything is ready. Joe will stay behind to look after Jack and make excuses for our absence if the villagers question where we have gone. I explained our plan to Jack, who is still a bit too weak to get out of bed. There is a vast savanna just beyond the village, which stretches for miles, according to Charwilly. Beyond the plains, where herds of wild elephants roam, the mountains begin, and halfway up the slope of the first peak is the cave. We should be back by tomorrow night. While the villagers are occupied with their devil dance, we sneak out of town and head into the jungle. Dawn finds us on the edge of the plains. misleadingly firm. In reality, it is one vast swamp, and picking our way across it is time-consuming. We come across a spot where the grass has been pressed flat. Charwilly examines it and says that a herd of elephants had passed that way. He says that they have just passed and that if we hurry, perhaps we can see them. We try to sneak up behind them and photograph them, but before we knew it, they had our scent and had turned to attack. It was time for a strategic retreat. Beyond the plains, we found the cave and examined it by torchlight. Could these stalagmites be interpreted as stone people? They do look remarkably like the stone idol back on the plantation. Back out of the cave, Charwilly points to the mountaintop. We had been observed all the while. We had better leave, Charwilly says, though we didn't mind. The secret of the stone people had been discovered.